So often, Parliament gets to debate questions of pure principle. Here the issue is, should serving prisoners have the right to vote? My answer at a principled level is absolutely not. Some would say voting isn't a right, it's a privilege. I disagree. It is a right. It's a fundamental right, but it's not an absolute right. And in fact, if we consider all the rights we like to think of, they never are. But with all rights, even fundamental ones, go responsibilities. If you like to put it this way, there is a social contract between individuals and the state. The state makes the rules. It compulsorily takes the taxes and does all manner of things. And in return, we receive all sorts of things: warm shelter sometimes, hospitals, schools, and of course the power of the ballot to elect, to unelect, and in our privileged cases in this House, to be elected. Prisoners, however, have opted out of that social contract. They haven't just gone against the state and society's basic rules, but they have gone against the big ones, meaning that incarceration has resulted. And a central debate here is how easily prison is imposed. I say to you from experience, it's not imposed easily at all. We don't in this country take away someone's right to liberty and imprison them at all lightly. And indeed the Labor government, the last Labor government, increased the many sentence options that judges have before and that they must consider before a person is incarcerated. There is a spectrum, and a wide one at that, of offences before we get to the most serious penalty in our system of imprisonment. Moreover, the right to vote isn't just a fundamental one. It's a precious one. Millions of men and women have shed blood and lost their lives for the right to vote. I simplify to some extent, but arguably any war you like to think of that New Zealand's been involved in has been in the name of, among other things, democracy. And I'm certainly not saying to this House that all wars are right, and indeed often they are fundamentally misguided. Nevertheless, as I say, to some extent they are in the name of democracy. My grandfather fought in a world war, and did he do that so that serving prisoners could vote? Voting is a fundamental right, but it's also a precious one. And by committing serious crime, prisoners opt out of the social contract between citizens and the state, and they lose the right to vote. When they are out and have served their time, they can re-enter society and regain their precious right, that hard-earned with blood shed right to vote. That's how it should be. This bill in principle is the right thing to do. I commend it to the House.
Excellent. Chris Hipkins.
Mr. Speaker.